Hi, my name is Angela Murray, SHRM SCP, SPHR, and your favorite HR exam coach. Welcome back to HR Exam Prep with Angela, and I am so excited because we have with us a very special guest. It is Andrea Zaharan, a newly credentialed HR professional, and I am so excited because she is going to share with you some hot tips. She's going to share her resources, and generally, she's just going to share first-hand knowledge. And that is going to be a gem for us. So she's going to tell us all about the resources she used. And overall, she is just going to give you a lot of great tips. But before we bring Andrea in, we do have to answer our question of the week. All right, so Andrea, you might have some insight on this question of the week, but I am just going to go for it. All right, so this question comes from Catherine B. And it says, "Hi, Angela. Thanks for answering my question. What are some study materials, resources that you recommend?" This is actually a really good question because it is going to tie directly into our resource highlight. So I was going to talk about this anyway, so this is a good time to plug those two things in together. So I think everybody is probably pretty hip now to this really good resource that is an alternative to the SHRM Learning Management System if you're not going to be purchasing the SHRM Learning Management System. This book is by Dory Weiler. It's called The All-in-One. You can get this on Amazon. It's about $50, and this is the second edition. So this book does have two editions. There's the first edition. I obviously recommend you getting the newer version. It's not completely aligned with the SHRM BASC. It doesn't follow the same framework as the SHRM BASC, but it does have all the pertinent information. It has everything in it, even if the format is not the same. This is a very good book. You just have to make sure that you are getting the second edition and don't get the first edition. They do have different covers, so it's a little bit easier for you to tell which is which, but just make sure you're getting the right edition. And then this book does come with a book of practice exams. So the book of practice exams is only a first edition. There hasn't been a second edition written for this book yet, but it is very good. The practice questions are similar to the questions that you would see on the SHRM exam. Some of them are require even more critical thinking. So this is also a very good book, and it accompanies the all-in-one knowledge source. Okay, so those are two of my favorite resources. I also have a book on Amazon. It's on Audible. You can find it on Kindle. However, my book is also a first generation, and I am in the process of rewriting that book right now. So the second generation of that book will be out in June. Of course, at that time, that is going to be my favorite resource. Okay, so those are two things that can absolutely get you going, and especially if you are not planning to use the SHRM Learning Management System. That was a really good question, Catherine, and everyone always needs to know where to get started with their resources. All right, so perfect. Now, without further ado, I do want to introduce you guys to Andrea, our newly credentialed SHRM CP. And Andrea shared with me some exciting news right before we got started, and she's going to share that with you guys later. But first, we want to start from the beginning. Andrea, tell us, what was your interest in the SHRM CP?
So I work for a small nonprofit organization, and we only have 16 employees. We didn't have an HR department, so I was kind of doing the HR things, and my boss comes towards me and she offers it to me. So I do have a business, a bachelor's degree in marketing, and I have a certificate. I started my MBA. So I'm really interested in things like that. And she said her brother-in-law works in HR, and she was like, let's talk with him and see what the best resource is. And so he recommended that to me, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. I haven't studied in a while. And I had signed up, I think it was November or December. And I didn't realize at the time that there was only certain testing windows. So I didn't realize, I didn't realize I would have had to take it by like February 15th or something like that. And I missed the email for a couple weeks. And I didn't realize I had to sign up and all this stuff. So I started studying December 25th on Christmas. I used that free time I was off for work and I just did a bunch of research before I even started answering questions. I just wanted to learn all about the exam, how long I would have, how many questions, if I wanted to take it at a testing center or like at home. So I chose like the last possible date that I could take it, just to give myself time. And at first I was going to take it at home, but then after doing more research on like Facebook and Reddit and YouTube, I realized they were very strict about your like where you do your test from. Like you can't even have like animals, you can't have a water
Mm-hmm.
bottle. So I
Yeah.
was trying to figure out a place that I could take it, and ultimately I decided to do it at a proctoring center because I knew that it was like foolproof. I didn't want to have any type of anxieties or anything that could cause me to get distracted. I also saw that some people had a hard time getting on, so they might have their test scheduled for 9 a.m. and they might not be taking it till 11. And so like I'm the type of person I just like to go and get it done. I don't want any distractions. I don't want any, I like my plan. So I want my plan to go full through. So I took it and I was successful. I almost didn't believe on the screen. I had to look and check my email after so many times. I'm like, wait, I passed.
You know what? Everybody says that at the end. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable because you put so much time into it and it's so much effort. And
Yes.
once you get there, you're just like, oh, it's such a sigh of relief. Like, gosh, I'm done. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's pretty cool. So tell me about your testing experience, right? So just start from scheduling, if you had any hiccups there, when you came in for security, how intense was that security?
It's pretty intense. I left my phone in the car. I only brought my keys. They gave at my place, they gave us a locker, so I put everything in. I think I only wore like my wedding ring. I didn't wear anything else. I tried to wear comfortable clothing. The temperature was perfect in there. Um, I did take one bathroom break, and it was, I mean, it was, if you come in prepared and you're not, they don't have to tell you to take things off or put things away. It was really, really smooth. And then at my testing center, they actually had headphones that would play like white noise, because there was like little cubicles, but I chose not to do that because I felt like it was going to distract me. But it might help someone else, which I didn't hear about that at other testing centers, but I feel like that could be that could help.
You know what? I think that could be helpful for people who are, sometimes easily distracted because there are other candidates there who are going to be finishing at different times than you. And so they'll be going and coming. And then
Hmm.
Prometric doesn't just test for SHRM, they have other
Hmm.
kinds of test takers there. And so their exam could be longer and shorter. So I think that's good. I've never heard of a testing center that had the white noise option. So I think that's really good. Yeah, that's really cool.
Hmm.
Okay. So, what was your most memorable moment from testing? I mean, other than seeing the pass on the screen, I know that's probably the most memorable moment. But did you have any,
Hmm.
aha moments or any funny moments, anything like that happen to you while you were studying or testing?
I think for me, just studying, I just remember studying everywhere. If I would go early to the gym so I could sit in my car and study, I would take breaks at work. I would not like miss out on things, but I would be like people at my work were going to the beach, and I was like, I would love to go to the beach, but
Yeah.
I'd rather be here at work in peace and study, so that I can be successful. Was so nervous the day of. I've never been that nervous for anything. I don't know why I was so nervous. I think I was scared of like the disappointment, but I kind of had to rationalize that. But once I got into the chair, I felt good. I'm like I told you before, I don't really remember questions from it. Like I just feel like I just did it. And honestly, I didn't feel like I was answering certain questions. I couldn't tell which ones were the field questions. Some I did feel confident on, but some I did feel like could have had two answers, like you said in some of your courses.
Yeah. You know what? The exam, I think that's the biggest surprise to most people. It is a time commitment. If you don't do your research beforehand, you think about it like other tests that you've made, may have taken in grad school, but it's just not that kind of exam. It's so much different. So it is a time commitment, and you do have to be willing to give up a lot of stuff if you're going to, fully commit to the exam. So I tell everybody, kind of give your family a pep talk and tell them, I may disappear for the next couple of months because this is something that you really, really do you have to commit to it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. So, looking back, if you could choose one resource that was the center of your exam preparation, that one thing that without this resource, I would not have passed, what do you think that is?
I think it was your situational judgment class.
Oh,
It
I'm glad it.
really, it really helped me to figure out, like, take out those key parts in a question and then like kind of spin it to see like how it fits and just figuring out the situation. I think one thing that kind of shocked me was, like, I've always heard that it's who you know, that's how you get jobs, more networking. But the SHRM doesn't like that. The SHRM
Right.
always finds it a conflict of interest if you hire someone that you know. And I feel like there was a few questions like that. So I feel like your class helped me realize, like, the situations of SHRM are different from how you operate at your current job if you're doing HR, or like what you think might be completely different to how it actually should be done.
Right. Exactly. You know what? I think that's the most difficult piece for HR professionals to separate, like the perfect world that SHRM creates versus the real world that we live in when our organizations are operating with, not as many resources, or they don't have the managers with, highly functioning with all of the competencies. So it's difficult sometimes to separate what would actually happen, especially if you worked in the organization for a really long time. Like if you've been in your organization
Mhm.
10, 15 years, it's really hard to retrain yourself to align with the SHRM best practice. I think that's the most surprising thing to most HR professionals. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is very, like, different from how you would
Yeah.
answer it, where the way you're doing so far, and then how the questions are worded. And I think too, it helped me with knowing in the situation, just think that they have unlimited resources. Like, you can take unlimited, like, people can go into overtime, like you just have way more than your organization might have. So that's not even in the equation unless it's stated in the question.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. All right. So, what is that one piece of advice that you would give an HR professional that is now starting on their study journey? Maybe they are feeling discouraged or don't know where to start. What would you say to that person?
It's hard to choose just one, but
Or two?
I would say to, like, just study every day, at least an hour. That's what I did. And even if I wasn't studying, I was researching or I was watching a video. But I was just, getting into it every day to kind of, get the content and digest it. But I definitely wouldn't overdo it because it's a lot of information. So if you take it section by section, and yeah, and I probably also would suggest more studying than 3 months, but
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You do have to, like I said, the time commitment is the main thing. You have to give yourself enough time. First of all, you have to give yourself enough time to adjust, right? You're not going to be really studying effectively until you adjust your way of thinking to SHRM best practice, because before then you're just kind of chasing your tail. You're just going around and around in circles. So once you do
yeah.
solidify that thinking, that light bulb comes on, and then you're really ready to dig down and start studying. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's the biggest thing. All right, Andrea. Well, before we started, you were sharing some really good news with me. You were sharing with me the way that the SHRM CP has impacted you since you've gotten your credentials. So, if you don't mind sharing with everyone else.
Well, first of all, I feel like the SHRM gave me a lot of confidence in my career. I felt like it kind of changed me professionally. And I felt like, okay, well, if, for example, I wanted to move to a new city and get another job, like, I have that now. But I So I am the HR manager and the executive assistant for a nonprofit company. However, I was recently recruited for a new job supporting executives, and one of them is an HR executive. And she really liked that I had my SHRM. I think it made me stand out. And that's all I can say for right now.
Okay, that's exciting. Do you have any plans to get the SHRM SCP later or maybe PHR?
I have not thought about it, honestly. I guess I would have to do research and see how it could benefit me if
Yeah.
I wanted to move more into HR, which there may be an opportunity in the future. I would think about it.
Yeah, awesome. I think you should. I mean, you went in and you aced that CP with no problem because this was your first attempt, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you knocked it right out of the park, and you see what happened after you knocked it right out of the park. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's very valuable. All right, so Andrea, I really appreciate you coming by and I appreciate you sharing with other HR professionals your knowledge, your experience. I mean, it's very unique because you have a very unique position. You are talking from a space that where they are now, you were just there. You got your CP in the last testing window. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
really exciting and it's really valuable. But before I let you go, I want to see how much of that information you've retained, right? So we have a little game that we're going to play. I'm going to give you a couple of pictures, and I want to see if you are able to guess the picture. They're all going to come from the SHRM CP, some of the knowledge areas of the SHRM CP, right? So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we'll see how much you can guess. Okay, so before we let Andrea go, we are going to move into our next segment, which is called Guess What? And Andrea is going to put that newfound knowledge into practice. And we're going to see how much of that information from the SHRM CP she has retained. And we are going to show her some pictures that relate to some knowledge areas in the SHRM CP. And we're going to see how much you remember, Andrea. You up for it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Picture number one. Okay, so I think it should be timed. What's a fair time? Do you think? You think 5 seconds? 10 seconds?
Oh, 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay, ten
I have
seconds.
no idea.
Just think about it. I
I
bet.
I
Think about what you see on the screen there. It's gonna
Can
be
you give
so
me a hint
obvious.
about the red circle?
It's
No
gonna be so
idea.
obvious to you once I tell you what it is.
Yeah, no clue.
No clue. Okay. So you're ready for the
Mm-hmm.
answer, right?
Yes.
This is a red circle rate.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't have got that one.
Okay,
I
so
don't even
remember,
remember seeing that word at all in the textbook.
really? So this is from Total Rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from Total Rewards. And
Okay.
a red circle rate is when an employee is paid below the maximum, I'm sorry, above the maximum of a range. So when they have maxed out, but they're
Okay.
still being paid above it. Right? So red circle rate. All right, number two. Tricky, tricky, tricky stuff.
Yes. I I have no idea.
No idea? Okay, the answer
No.
is Democratic leader.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yay! All right,
I
so
wasn't sure where we were going with that, but
for sure, yep. So Democratic leader invites the team in and wants the team to be a part of the decision making. I'm sure you remember that one. It was all over.
I do. Yeah. Now, yeah.
All right, next one. This one is this one is tricky. If you get this, I am I'm going to be shocked.
Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah, no, there's
Wow!
something
Oh my
pyramid.
goodness.
Is
That is
it?
right. It is.
Is it?
It's
Okay.
it's Maslow's hierarchy. Now, Andrea, how in heaven's name did you come
Mhm.
up with Maslow's hierarchy and not Democratic leader?
I know I was a little thrown off there, but I just see the pyramid and I'm like, okay, I remember that.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny.
But like the pictures to me don't like I don't know. Just the pyramid spoke to me.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, next one. This one's funny.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
So, are you giving up?
Conversations. I have no idea what the second picture means.
This
Spotlight?
this is gonna be so funny.
Okay, tell me what it is.
This is a communication model.
I like that. Actually, that is funny.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny. So it comes from communication, obviously, which is one of the competencies, and the communication model shows us how we communicate and get our messages effectively heard, and have our audience respond to our call of action. All right, so you remember that one, Andrea?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right. Next one. I'll give you a hint. This also comes from communication.
I don't know. Not, mm, is it something failure?
It is.
Not 100% failure.
This one's also going to be funny.
I don't know what the first picture is.
This is a medium failure.
Okay.
Yep. This one's pretty funny too. Right? So a medium failure happens when we choose the wrong medium to send a message, and that leaves the message unsuccessful. So either your audience didn't get the message in time, and they can't respond to the call of action, or something happens when it goes to the medium and the audience can't respond. Right? This is our
Hmm.
final one. This is going to be, you have to redeem yourself. You have to redeem yourself, Andrea. This is the last one, okay? All
I'm
right.
bad at Pictionary. Oh my gosh, goodness.
This one is a little weird. This is a little weird.
I'm not gonna be able to give myself. I have no clue.
This is the threat of substitutes. You remember?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is from Porter's Five Forces. So the threat of substitutes is when a product or service comes in and mimics another product or service, and that mimicked product or service has to respond to that threat. Okay. All right. Well, Andrea, how do you think you retained everything? Once I told you, did you remember all of the things though?
I did. Yeah.
It was just the pictures. The
The
pictures were
pictures, yeah. I'm like, well, I don't even know. Like, I can see the threat now when you say it, but I just, yeah. But they were really good. Someone probably other than me could have got them, but
Oh, I can't believe you got the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That one was weird. I can't believe you got that one. That was
hmm.
that was really good. That was really good. Well, we do appreciate you stopping by, Andrea. I know everybody appreciates the knowledge that you gave them today. I mean, truly, um, I am just so proud of you. I am really, really proud of seeing how the SHRM CP has, opened new doors for you. I'm proud that you were able to get this done on the first try, and that you made the time commitment. And you should be really, really proud of yourself, because this exam is not easy, right? And it's not
Yeah.
it's not typical. And so, yeah, you did a really, really good job. So I'm super proud of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for stopping by. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Before we wrap up, we do have one more segment, and that is our HR jargon. So I am going to help you to translate some typical HR jargon that you might hear in the workplace. And I'm going to see if I can put that into layman's terms for you. Okay. And the HR jargon that we are going to tackle tonight is the purple squirrel. Have you heard this one before, Andrea? The purple squirrel?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you know what I found interesting about this jargon is purple squirrels do exist. I did not know that that was actually a thing. But in HR world, a purple squirrel is the perfect candidate. It is that candidate that that checks every box, that has every single thing that the hiring manager is looking for. They have the skill, they have the experience, and usually that skill and experience is on a very, very high level. So it's called the purple squirrel because it is very rare and it's very difficult to find. The reason I went to research whether purple squirrel existed is because I thought to myself, if a purple squirrel doesn't even exist, why would we call a candidate a purple squirrel? Because that would mean that we'll never find that candidate because it doesn't exist. But to my surprise, the purple squirrel does actually exist. So that's a kind of interesting fact, and hopefully the next time you guys hear purple squirrel when you're passing by your recruiting office or when you're talking to your talent acquisition specialist, now you will know what that means. All right. Well, again, thank you for stopping by, Andrea. We're going to wrap it up. Don't you guys forget to like and subscribe so that you can get notifications of weekly videos. Next week, we are going to tackle all of the leadership theories. And of course, you want to be around for that one. I will see you guys next week. Bye.